Welcome to the Flow Tracy Money Audio Commentary. This is Owen Tracy recording, and it is 3:49 p.m. That is Central Time, and today is September 5th, and today being Friday. It's the big picture, long-term audio and video for the various different asset classes. This chart that we're looking at right now is the purchasing power of the dollar based upon what the value of the dollar was in 1967. So it backdates it before that, and then obviously you can see there's a persistent downtrend since then. Maybe the biggest lesson that we should never forget is to never underestimate just how much the government and central banks are willing to devalue the purchasing power of the cash in your pocket. And it doesn't matter when you picked upon, and at any point from approximately 1940 until now, there was very few occasions when having a negative view about what was going to happen to the purchasing power of the currency wasn't the correct way to think. And this became particularly important to think about now because we have declining economic activity, rising unemployment, and a slowing economic environment in the USA. And the very real possibility that the Federal Reserve is going to cut interest rates later this month. Then potentially they may go with 25 basis points. And that at least would be in conjunction with what the market has been expecting. There is a remote possibility they might go for 50 basis points. If they do, then that would probably be interpreted as panic. And that, I think, is something that we should also be thinking about, that the Federal Reserve are serial bubble blowers. And bull markets don't end because they run out of time. They don't end of old age. Bull markets end because they're assassinated by central banks. And one of the things that central banks do is that they become worried about inflation, so they raise rates aggressively. Then they hold them higher because they're afraid of making a mistake. And then they are forced into cutting aggressively because they've held them high for too long. And we get a graphic representation of that when we look at the yield curve spread. I think this is one of the more important things to pay attention to. I think it's also rather important to emphasize that